because I am a teacher by heart and by action, and also because I love teaching. So both of these things definitely make this day very special, and thank you AuSoM for giving me this opportunity to be here with you, interacting with you, and also interacting with the students and faculty. Coming to your question, what I like about Hyderabad, I like everything about Hyderabad. The weather is beautiful, and I had this misconception before I came here in Hyderabad, that Hyderabad and especially Telangana state is a very, very hot state. So usually it's very, very hot during 6 to 7 months. But let me clear that misconception. At this point of time, and when I joined in May, starting from 1st June onwards, in fact April onwards in northern part of the country, it's much more hot than Hyderabad and Telangana. So that is the first and foremost thing that I like about Hyderabad, that the weather is very good.
Yeah.
And the second thing is people are very nice. They are very welcoming, they are very affectionate in general. And the culture is very mixed culture that I found here in Hyderabad. So these are the three things that I like.
Thanks, ma'am. My second question, because this is a Teacher's Day, you are an engineer and you also did your research in engineering education. If I'm not wrong, you are from the family of lawyers and justice. What inspired you to become a teacher?
Actually, to tell you, being a teacher or becoming a teacher was initially a chance for me. It was not a choice. I joined immediately after my graduation. Of course, I loved, initially, if you talk about me in the class 8th or 9th grade, I used to hate math. And I used to hate physics. And I used to hate chemistry, everything. And that time, it was 8 plus 3 kind of system. It was not 10 plus 2, it was 8 plus 3. So in 8th, when I wanted to choose my subjects, in 9th basically, those were my last choices. But still, for something dawned upon me, and I took it as a challenge to take science as a stream, which initially had PCM. And I used to cry a lot while solving problems and everything. But then it was my uncle, my youngest uncle. He was studying engineering at that time. And so whenever I used to have any problem in math, I used to go to him. And I used to ask him, I can't do this. I used to call him Chacha. So I said, Chacha, I cannot do this. It's beyond me, I cannot do this problem. So he said, okay, no problem. I'll tell you how to solve this. But my only condition is that you have to attempt it 10 times. This particular problem or this particular maths problem, whatever you are not able to do, you have to attempt it 10 times, and if you are not able to do it, I'll tell you. Okay, I go back, I attempt it 10 times, and usually 7th or 8th time, I was able to find a solution. And this was a thumb rule. So physics also, math also used to say. And so I found somewhere this trick, and then it was math, physics, chemistry. I became very fond of those courses. So then I chose engineering as my profession. So immediately after graduating, I joined a fiber optic communication company called Optel. So I was in an industry and I was doing very good.
Yes.
And it was very good job. I loved my job. But then somebody told me that there is an MPPSC exam and you should apply for it. This is for teaching position. So I appeared for it and I cleared it and I became a teacher in government engineering college and so on and so forth. So it just came. I mean, it was not a choice that, I'll be very honest, it was not a choice that I wanted to become an educator and a teacher, so I chose that profession, no. But later, of course, I found my new love for the profession of teaching,
Nice.
and so here I am.
Nice, ma'am. Thank you. Having started your career as an educator, how has your experience in classroom shaped your approach as a vice chancellor?
Yes. Actually, that classroom experience has been a very big contributor to my becoming an administrator. You know, in a classroom, the teacher, so basically, you know, again, a common misconception is that the teacher goes to teach and the students come to learn, to be taught. But usually, and this I would reckon, and faculty members sitting here would reckon with me, that it is the teacher in the class who learns the most.
True.
And because there are 60 individuals who are learning from one person. And there is one person here who is learning from 60 different individuals. So at any given point of time in that 60-minute class, there are 60 different perspectives to a concept, to a fact that the teacher brings to the class. And it is for the teacher to actually get most or take most from that opportunity. That most of the highest learning opportunity exists in a classroom for the teacher. And on every single day, you are challenged not only by that single course or topic that you are teaching, but because there are 60 adults sitting in your class challenging you, they have the opportunity to challenge you. Only thing is, you need to take on that challenge and learn.
Yes.
So a classroom management is the most fundamental, and I would say it's the greatest learning opportunity for a teacher, provided the teacher recognizes it. So definitely my classroom experience has definitely shaped up my administrative career, also my administrative choices, my administrative experience, definitely.
As you mentioned, because you mentioned as a challenge, can you recall any challenge as a faculty that you faced in a class and how you have overcome it?
So challenge is definitely the challenge since ages, and all the faculty members would also reckon with me, they will connect with me, is students' engagement.
Yes.
And to make the students engaged for that full session was, is and will be always challenging. And I can admit in front of the students also, that was a challenge that I accepted. And I'll give you one very, I call it as my achievement. So initially when I used to go to the class, there was always, students, and then always age old, we had this rule that 75% attendance is required and eligibility and so on. And I found that most of the students come to the class for want of that attendance. They are not there for want of learning, and they are anyways not engaged. So then I took it as a challenge, brought out techniques so that the students are engaged. And the achievement that I want to tell you is, in the 10th year of my teaching, I stopped taking attendance in the class.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, this may result into something, I don't know what, but I stopped taking attendance. But the achievement was that class after class, I had 100% students in the class.
Nice.
Although I stopped taking attendance, that was my achievement. And
Great.
Only barring few who had some pressing assignments or they were sick or something, but generally I was seeing a full attendance in the class.
I'll seek a special appointment for you on this now.
So this is something that I really find and call my achievement than anything else.
Yeah, this
Not
brings
those
me to
patents and all that, no.
yeah, this brings me to one of your special initiative at Anurag, that is Joy of Engineering, the course that you have introduced for all the engineering first years, where instead of attending regular classes, there's a combination of things. So, can you say, like, how do you feel when the students are entering into classes like Joy of Engineering, what else are you planning for the students to come? There are many students here. I think they must be looking forward to much more initiatives.
So I think, see, the joy of engineering, the fundamental underlying concept is that happy people learn better. And so, instead of instilling fear in the students for any course or a concept, or so usually the students would be afraid about the grades, about how they will be treated in the class, whether they will have enough freedom to explore, and that the fear is opposite of happiness. A fearful person cannot be happy.
Yes.
And happiness is the underlying concept of learning. I would say it's a prerequisite for learning, for good learning to happen. So, the joy of engineering has two things in its base. One is happiness, and happiness comes from exploration. You will find, and you will all agree with me, that when you are exploring something on your own, whether we are teachers or students or anybody else, when we are exploring, we have that element of happiness, because that satisfaction comes in. That, okay, I explored, I learned, I found something new. And that is what is the underlying principle of joy of engineering. So we have woven the whole concept of joy of engineering around exploration, the piece of exploration. So there is nothing right or wrong. Students can explore in the way they want.
Yes.
And one thing I had been telling to my teachers also, who are going to the Joy of Engineering classes, and also to the students, that don't be afraid of failures. You are not going to be graded or assessed on whether how accurately you achieve a result. It's not about accuracy. It's about how much you have explored. So this is the thing. And going forward, you said what are the other new things? I'm still exploring myself. What else can we do? So we are taking one step at a time, and this is something, but going forward as a goal, if you ask me, every learning should be exploring and experiential. So one should experience and learn. Yes. That's what my...
Thank you, ma'am. I remember for Joy of Engineering, madam saying, never use the word accurate or correct or right. It should be only how they do, not correct or right. So that gave us, ma'am, coming back to one more question. This was supposed to be earlier for me. What made you choose Anurag University? What excited you in this opportunity?
Yeah, so whenever I change my job role from either within the same organization or from one organization to the other, I see three things. One is, specifically in an education environment, one is the management. The management should be well educated. And that checkbox was clicked here. You know, our chairman is a PhD in physics, our CEO, madam, even the whole family and the founding members, they are very well educated. Yes. So they understand the education. That was the first thing. The second thing is, the faculty members should be respected. They should not be considered as employees of the university, but as team within the university. And the second checkbox was also clicked here. And the third is, there should be an overall growth mindset within the students, within the faculty, and within the management. And the third checkbox is also clicked. So that is what made me excited to take on this opportunity, that there is enough academic flexibility to the teachers, there is a growth mindset, and the management understands education.
Thank you, ma'am. What are your top 3 priorities for the university in the next 2 to 3 years? And there is another question. What are the challenges you are seeing now for a private university, which has started now? So how are you trying to balance them both?
So the three immediate priorities that I see, at least as of now, maybe there will be more priorities that will emerge up, but as of now, the three priorities that I see is, first is the digital transformation. We need that definitely goes without saying, without any questions. We need to digitally transform our university. The second is creating a brand value.
Yeah.
We are, at Anurag University, we are doing lot of things which are very different, very good, ethically correct. They are grounded in right principles. But somehow that brand value that it should be is not there. So the second priority is brand value creation. And the third priority is increasing the RIE index. Now what is RIE index? Research, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So
Okay.
this index needs to be improved for this university. So these are the three strategic priorities that I am looking forward to work on.
Nice. Thank you. For doing this, how do you plan to attract and retain top faculty and researchers, ma'am?
See, I have this very underlying notion in my mind, and I have experienced it also, that faculty members are not, or for that matter anywhere. I mean, money is only one part of it. So it is true for any organization. People stick to organizations for very different reasons. One is they should be respected. They should be given enough freedom to do what they want to do. Of course, with that comes the responsibility and accountability too. And so I think that kind of a team culture needs to be, it is already there so much in this university, in Anurag University. We are all bound by that team culture. And so retaining should not be much of a problem. And giving proper responsibilities and assignment based upon the interest that person has, I think that will go a long way in retaining the top talent to the university and also hiring.
Yeah, I think Anurag retention is around 85%.
Yes. So I think that's good. But then going forward, these are the two things that are going to matter much more than the money.
Yeah, but anyway that you have mentioned money, because it's a private university, how do you plan to balance academic excellence with financial sustainability required for a private university, ma'am?
See, the financial requirements are only a very small portion of to achieve excellence. There are many other important factors. So I think these two are not very directly correlated. To achieve excellence, excellence can be achieved in lesser means also. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's about finding out your focus areas and excelling in those. You cannot excel in hundreds of the things at one point of time. So find out your focus areas. Within the framework of the available financial means that we have, nowhere in this world any organization would have infinite means, financial means. It's never possible. We always, even at our households, you see, if our income is X, we will always, have expenditure lined up for X plus Y. So it is always good planning when you are able to plan, excel, maintain your household. Same goes for organizations also. Within the limited financial means that we have, we need to find out focus areas and excel in them. That's what should be the mantra.
Yeah. One more question on the same line, ma'am. Now private universities are coming. There is a huge competition for them also. So what actually you think is the role of private universities in the society today?
It's very big. And in fact, private universities are playing their role much better than, I would say, all maybe. I'm not saying they are doing bad job, they are doing good job. But within the means that the private universities have, we do not have any funding from the government. Everything we have to manage on our own. And still we are able to provide quality education to those who cannot, because of the limited number of seats at government universities, we are providing that kind of education. So it's a very, very good role that very important role that private universities are playing, even not only universities but institutes also are playing. And I think we are doing a good job.
Yes,
No doubt.
thank you. One question, when I asked my faculty in the morning, what would you like to know from the VC? One question I got is, how does she balance both personal and work-life pressures?
Yeah, it's very important, because for being being a lady definitely requires, I will not hesitate in saying that definitely we have bigger responsibilities, and we have more responsibilities if you want to quantify it. And in this case, in our case, especially ladies, the support system which is inherent in our Indian society plays a big role. We have so much support available on the family front that we are able to carry out our responsibilities properly at the workplace also, and also at home. So this is something that we are blessed with. I would rather say that Indian societal setup gives a lot of support if the family wants to. That's the if thing, right? Otherwise, there are families which do it other way. But in my case, if you are asking me specifically, there is a huge support available from my immediate family, from my extended family. So I am able to carry out, I have never found a challenging position at my home. If I have more pressing requirements at my work, it has never been challenged. So I think I am blessed to that extent. I can only say that.
Yeah, ma'am, that's true. So coming to another one, we right now are only as a university, but as far as I know, there are not many collaborations with foreign universities or something. What is your view on partnerships and collaborations? What is their role in the growth of a university?
Very, 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 very important. Collaboration is the key going forward. So I think we have to put in a lot of effort, not only us, but I would say across the country. We should nurture this notion of collaboration, not only outside foreign university collaboration, but also within the country, within our own university, interdepartmental collaborations, as we call it. Lot of new areas can emerge if we make this as our priority. So goes without saying, collaboration is the key going forward, and it is very important.
So on the same question, continuation, ma'am. So that is the way, what is your vision for Anurag University in the next coming years?
So I have already said that the strategic priorities we have already said. So we want Anurag University to be known in certain areas. As I said, identifying focus areas is very, very important. You cannot be excelling in all the fields taken together. So identifying certain focus areas, whether it is in research or in education, or it could be anything, and then work towards it. That's
Yes.
what should be the way to go forward. However, vision, if you ask, it's already there. I mean, that vision is, I think it's in the tagline, that inspiring leaders of tomorrow. So it says everything.
Ma'am, one question. What do you think is the role of ethics? Because ethics is a part of syllabus. But how do we teach ethics to the students when
Be a
there are
role
so
model.
many?
Be a role
Yeah.
model. Be a role model. There's no other way that you can teach ethics and values. If you cannot personify ethics and values to the teachers, my message is that if you cannot personify ethics and values, you will never be able to teach it, and there's no way that it can be taught.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And this question is from my students. How do you plan to support student entrepreneurship, innovation and career development beyond the academics?
Yeah, so there is, we are going to soon launch the entrepreneurship policy. Maybe by this month and we are going to launch, and there are very many um, uh, ways in which this can be done. And we are soon going to interweave maybe a minor in entrepreneurship, taking electives in entrepreneurship and innovation and so on and so forth. So there are going to be very many avenues for the students and for the faculty to explore in this initiatives for disruptive thinking, as we call it, whether it is innovation, entrepreneurship, technology commercialization, developing new technologies and so on. So this policy, just wait for these two policies to be launched, which is the IPR policy of the university and also the entrepreneurship policy. And you will see, and this is going to be public very soon, and all the students can take advantage of this, all the faculty also.
For you. So, ma'am, one general personal questions. If you have to describe yourself in one word, what would that word be?
I'm a learner
Oh,
all the time.
nice one. So, what is your message, can I say advice or suggestion to the faculty here and to the students here? Like, how do they think they can progress forward?
One message, be yourself. Love what you do and what you are. That's all.
Great. If you permit, can I open the session for 10
Yeah,
minutes
sure,
for students'
why not?
interaction? Anyone willing to ask any questions can please ask. Yeah, Professor Venu.
Well, there was a doubt. He was asking me, Professor Rao was asking me if I'm a student. I said, yes, I'm a PhD student, so I've got the right to ask. Well, we spoke about students, and you have also very lucidly explained what you have in mind. Could you also say something about what opportunities can we create for the faculty in terms of, exchanging our faculty, quality improvement programs, sending to other universities? Can you just share your thoughts on that? Thank you.
Yes, we are thinking very, very, in fact, in a very, very important manner, we are thinking how we can create these kinds of opportunities for the faculty, especially industry internship. Not only for the students, but also for faculty, it's very important. So far as exchange of the faculty members is concerned, whatever collaborations now we are putting up with other teaching or research organizations, we are also exploring when we are talking to those organizations. We are specifically talking about these opportunities. And soon you will see these kinds of opportunities emerge up. So far as faculty development is concerned, so far we have a lot of in-house faculty development programs, but we definitely want the faculty to have an opportunity to go outside and unlearn and learn from other opportunities also, these kinds of places also. So those things are emerging, we are thinking, we are collaborating, and definitely something you will see soon. You will see soon, sure.
All professors are asking. Professor Murthy.
As you said, I am also an eternal learner, ma'am. I'm very happy to know that one of the three priorities that you have listed is improving the coefficient of RIE. But let me honestly say, and then let me be permitted to be indulge in that. See, this requires the current faculty members to be lifted out of the morass of the academic bureaucracy in terms of keeping a lot of attendance, duplicating it, triplicating it, multiplicating it, and then giving emphasis on attendance. I personally believe that attendance should be voluntary. I cannot force it. If I am ramming it down through the throats of the student may not be excited. In this connection, going back to your first priority of digitization, our faculty members are ready to work with you so that the teachers' administrative workload will be less, and that they'll be focusing more on research, consulting, faculty development, entrepreneurship. And our department will be at the forefront to help you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I think I agree with whatever you have said. But the only problem is, sir, I would not call it a problem, but it's a kind of a realization that we have to make. That with academic freedom will also come a lot of responsibility and accountability. So usually when we talk, you know, in the faculty kind of a fraternity when we talk, everybody is talking of give us freedom, give us freedom, give us freedom. But when it comes to accountability and responsibility, then okay, don't ask us this, don't ask us that. So as I said, I gave you my own example that 10th year of my teaching, I made attendance, although it was not, the university didn't ask, or wherever I was teaching, the attendance was to be recorded. But it was a good faith with the students and the responsibility I took on myself that if I do this, will I be able to ensure 100% attendance even without taking it on paper, and will I be able to engage my students in the class? If that kind of responsibility and accountability the teachers or faculty is going to take, are ready to take, why not? Whatever you are saying is definitely doable, sir. Sir.
Any other? There, Ms. Deeksha.
Very good afternoon, ma'am. It's my pleasure asking you some questions. Ma'am, first of all, I would like to ask that you are, as Vishnu Vandana ma'am mentioned, that you are from a family of lawyers and like justice side. What made you like take science, ma'am? Because I'm a history student and I'm very passionate about history. So like what made you take science and what helped you like in the future things?
So I followed my passion, and my advice for you would also be the same. Follow your passion.
Ma'am, I think I would like generalize things right now. Following passion these days is something everyone say, ma'am. Like everyone just generalize the statement. They just say it like, you know, follow your passion, go achieve your dreams, do that, do this. But like, what does it take, ma'am? What does it take to do that?
It takes grit. It takes determination. If you are determined, the world will follow you. And I am an example of that. I was the first lady, first woman from my whole family, extended family, to step out of my home and take a regular job. And of course, support of your family is very, very important. But I'll give another example of my daughter. Now, this is extended version of me. So I was not the first engineer. As I said, my uncle was an engineer, but all of these were like in the professional studies, they were all men in my family, right? So I was the first one to take engineering as a profession. My husband is also an engineer, but none of my two kids is an engineer. So my daughter is a political science student. She has done it from Delhi University, and she recently graduated, did her master's in public policy from Oxford. Now look here. So, and my son is an architect. So none of them, so it's like we were allowed to follow our passion. Sort of we took it on ourselves. We were allowed fortunate. But if you are not, I mean, it's okay.
Should we just break through, ma'am?
Yes.
Should we just break
yes. Rules are meant to be broken, not to be recorded.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Not to be recorded, but that's what it is. I mean, you have to follow your passion.
Last 3 questions we can take. There. Please introduce yourself and...
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Pravina. Ma'am, what are your suggestions for management students? As you suggested engineering students a joy of engineering. So what are your suggestions, ma'am, for management students?
It's general for everybody. Grab all opportunities that come your way, whether it is learning or whatever it is. So see, when you are attending a class, please take your seat. Whenever you are attending a class, take it as an opportunity that you are going to learn something there. If you step out, you observe something, take it as an opportunity. So it's a general thing for all students of your age. These 4 years, these 2 years, these 3 years, whatever graduation course you are in, these are going to be the most, you are going to remember these years most. Make friends, observe, and take every opportunity that comes your way. These are the 3 things that I want to give to everybody, this message to everybody, all students out there.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My question is, as you said, there's a scope of expanding entrepreneurship or stuff. What can we expect to see in that policy or whatever you are thinking about?
So,
what can we learn new?
Yeah, so policy will be soon out soon by the end of this month. But yes, you can expect the kind of, so a student who wants to take up entrepreneurship as a career or want to start up any business can take a 6 months off, a sabbatical from the regular study. And even a placement holiday kind of thing can also be taken by that student. There will be provision of seed money for the student to start up, and so on and so forth. So these, and even you can take electives which will be offered by a unit which we are going to set up soon. So you can take electives there, you can even take a minor in entrepreneurship and so on. These are the kinds of opportunities that we are interweaving with the academics and giving all opportunities for the students to start up while they are here with the Anurag University. Yep.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your inspiring experiences and all. So being the director of admissions, I would like to know that you brought many changes in short span of time. Like as she was talking about the joy of engineering and credits, especially you made 75, 25, 60, 40, internal, external assessment. And even in MTech also brought changes like you're going for, gave stipend for the students who join. And even PhD also when you got changes in the, brought changes in the publications. Like, throughout the world, they're asking for this Scopus Index and all other publications and all. So these 2 changes, especially MTech and also the PhD research orientation, can you throw some light that the importance of research for a faculty and as a student?
So you are asking me what is the difference between the research for the faculty and for the student? Are you asking me that?
Importance of.
The importance. Okay. So for a faculty and for a student, see, I always believe that faculty members who do not have research bent of mind, and the research can be anything. It could be fundamental research, applied research, action-oriented research. If the mind is not attuned for researching something, that faculty member cannot be a good teacher. Because, as I initially said, from the joy of engineering concept also, exploration should be the centerpiece. So when you do research, you explore. And unless you explore, or unless you are inquisitive, you will not explore. And if you are not curious, you will not research. And that curiosity, we want to kindle in our own students. Now, how can it be? If I am not curious, if I am not a researcher, how can I kindle that curiosity and research set of mind in my students? So it's very, very important for the faculty to have a research bent of mind. For the students, for the same reason. We want our students to be critical thinker, to be curious, to be problem solvers. All these are basic, they can be inherited from a research bent of mind, exploration bent of mind, experiential bent of mind. So these things are very, very important. And that is why when you were talking about changes in MTech. So we are offering now an MTech fellowship program wherein we are giving stipend to the MTech students who are going to come in. And the fee is obviously nominal only, which is 57,500 per year. But the whole idea of supporting, at least financially, we cannot support in all other ways, but financially to these postgrad students who have the right set of mind to become explorers, to become researchers, because the BTech they have already done, or graduation they have already done, whether it is BTech or whatever, MBA or whatever. So this is one step forward to enable them and to support them financially to embark on the path of research. Similarly for the PhD scholars, they are into very focused research areas. So we have this full-time PhD fellowship program where we are giving stipend of 35,000 per month to the scholars who we will select. So again, another endeavor of supporting, and you were also asking Vandana about hiring talent. So talent pool needs to be made at this stage, at the bottom of the pyramid. And MTech and PhD scholars are those people who you can train right from the beginning to be good researchers, to be good teachers. So we are creating that pipeline, hiring at this level rather than at that level.
Yeah.
So that is why those are the two initiatives which we have taken.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Javed sir and Anurag have, Narendra ma'am, do you have time? Can we take 3 more?
Yeah, I have all the time. What about you? You need to see.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you both Vandana ma'am and Archana ma'am for a wonderful, scintillating conversation. My question to you, ma'am, is about your first and foremost priority, that is the digital transformation of the university. I would like to, I along with most of the students, feel digital transformation is such a heavily loaded word, heavily loaded buzzword that it can mean anything and everything. But what is it that we can expect? We as stakeholders, as the faculty, as the students, that we can expect as the product of digital transformation? How we all see that the grass is greener on the other side, but how does that grass actually look? What are the characteristics of digitally transformed university? How does it look for the faculty? How does it look? How does it help our
Students.
present situation? Any few thoughts about it?
Yeah, sure. It's a very good question, Anurag. And you said it's heavily loaded word, and I agree with you that. And I also, to that extent, the girl who said that everybody talks, follow your passion, everybody talks digital transformation, but how actually to do it? So a simple characteristic of a digitally transformed university is that if the the human resources in the university are utilizing 85% of their time on doing 3 things: critically thinking, problem solving, and optimization. These 3 things, the human resources are doing, rest everything technology is doing. That's the characteristic of a digitally transformed university. So, meaning if the students, so somebody talked about attendance. So a digitally transformed university would be, I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying we do this right away, but I'm just, so a AI-driven kind of a camera system within the class, wherein the students are sitting, the attendance is captured automatically and goes to the server. The teacher doesn't spend time on taking attendance of 66 students, which takes at least 10 minutes. One of the characteristic. The teacher should spend the time on discussions, on making their students contextually aware, rather than on something, on writing definitions on the board. Let's transform everything of definitions, derivations to digital world. Let the digital world take care of it. But how to draw inferences, how to motivate the students, how to engage the how to make those things applicable to the real world is something that the students and the faculty are spending time in on a daily basis in the class. So that's what is the digital. So creatively designing assessments rather than correcting those answers which the students anyways have copied from each other. let's pass it on to the digital world. Okay, so these are some of the things that we need to do, and you were asking about characteristics, so these are a few of the characteristics of the digitally transformed. So humans should do what they're supposed to do, and we are in the business of creating enlightened individuals. Let's do that. Let's not do all that which should not be done.
Yeah, to add on, ma'am, sorry, Anurag, most of the time of the faculty goes either, other than teaching, that is, either in attendance or in invigilation or in valuation. If we can reduce these three
Yes,
areas, I don't know if it can, that includes invigilation, ma'am?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Like yesterday only, like this medical examination was going on yesterday. And they have this, the medical council has mandated that you must have CCTV and all that. So they are digitally monitoring. The invigilation is being done digitally. Of course, there is the presence of a human being. That goes without saying. But then,
But less.
this is what it should be. I mean, why not?
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Javed sir.
Professor Javed has been very gracious. You actually made a very important statement. You said branding is something which is very important, and that is going to be one of your tasks. You're going to embark on it. So could you please tell us, when you say branding, what are the 3 top things that you are focusing on, and what is the timeline for that? And how everyone should co-opt?
All right. That's a detailed answer, 8-marker type that I have to give to answer your complete question. So top 3 things is, the first thing that I can tell you is, and I need support of my students and faculty and other team members here, make noise about good things that you are doing. We are not doing it enough. We are not doing it enough. So that is the first and foremost thing that we need to do. And of course, brand value creation, and I'm very mindful of not creating the brand that we are not, which many other universities are doing. They are not there, but they are still creating that brand. So let's not do that. So let's be mindful of that. So creating a brand that we are, that we truly are, and making noise about all the good things that you are doing. That is what are the 2 first steps that we need to do. And timelines and goals, I'm sorry, I'll not be able to answer it now, because even I am not very clear on those things. What is the timeline? Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. Good afternoon, both of you. Good session. My question or a thought, whatever it is on behalf of a huge group which is not present in this hall. This is the alumni. So I think we have a legacy of so many years and so many people. So do we have any plans or any programs or any mechanism to involve them? I'm sure we go out to them for a lot of things, but for them to be part of our programs here, either they must have done it 15 years ago and things have changed, the syllabus has changed, so some kind of a program for them, either in terms of research, in terms of PhD programs or higher education, if they have. Again, I think it will be a collaboration with them from the point of view of research, or do we have programs where they can take sabbatical, come here for a year, either contribute or learn? Is there any thought on that, ma'am? Alumni?
I would take it as a suggestion.
Yeah. And I was about to say that
yes,
there is a lot of discussion we can have,
yes,
definitely.
Yes, and this is a very good suggestion that you have made, and alumni relationship building should be also one of the very prominent focus area that we must have. So yes, we'll work on the suggestion, and with your help and with all the faculty members' help, we should set up a alumni relationship cell within the university, and we should do all that what you are saying. They can be very good support to us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks.
No, please. There are many questions waiting for
All
you.
the faculty members only. I would be happy if the students would ask something. Yeah, the student. There is a student there, sir. I think let's give it. No, you take it.
You are, it's
Go
for
ahead.
you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, Vandana ma'am. And Anurag sir spoke about digitalization, and Vandana ma'am spoke about collaboration. So I want to ask you something. People are innovative. We Desis tend to be innovative because we Desis are basically jugaad. We find everything. We find solution to everything. So I come from a commerce background. I'm a business student. I have solutions for cost cutting and everything regarding to management. And when it comes to engineers, they have solutions for coding, they have innovative technologies, they like to code and everything. So when it comes to companies, like Sir said, this is the age of digitalization. So when it comes to finance, we have a latest trend in this industry called fintech, financial technology. So like Vandana ma'am said of collaboration, can we see a collaboration between management students and then engineering students? Because we management students have ideas, engineering students have solutions with their technology, and it can be vice versa. So can we see a collaboration like that or anything similar to that?
Excellent. Ask for it.
Sure.
Ask for it. Ask from your faculty members and your managers and your deans for this kind of collaboration.
Sure.
See, please take your seat.
Thank you.
वो हिंदी समझता है तुम लोगों को? हिंदी में
Yes,
बोलते हैं बिना मांगे तो माँ भी दूध नहीं देती. Ask for it. If you want these kinds of programs, these kind of courses, go to your deans, go to your head of the departments, go to your faculty, ask for it that I want to collaborate with this. And of course, entrepreneurship and innovation, things that those initiatives that we are bringing in, you will see a lot of collaboration happening there, this kind of a thing. Just to give you a little glimpse of, because I think very few engineering students are here, but in first year, the joy of engineering, what madam said, there we are mixing people on a daily basis in those courses from various disciplines. So given point of time, an AI/ML student would be sitting with an electronics engineering student in that workshop and working on some kind of exploration. Okay, so any such idea comes to your mind, go. Talk to your faculty members. Don't keep it to yourself. Okay, maybe it will do some good. Like just now, Professor Javed, just now he said alumni, and it's a good suggestion. Probably it didn't occur to any of us, but it should. So please go ahead, ask for it. Demand it sometimes. Okay, that I want a course, an elective, which can be done in this. I am very technology savvy. So I want to learn maybe programming in Python. So madam, do we have any such opportunities existing for us to take that elective? If they do not have, at least they will think about it, right? So.
Yes, ma'am. The reason I asked is people can be only innovative when there are right resources. So if we find that resources, people can be innovative, no one can stop us.
Vice versa also true.
Yeah, vice versa.
Sometimes
Yes.
absence of resources also make people think innovatively.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So India mein jugaad is very famous. Yes. Because there are not enough resources. So people jugaad, they become innovative.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. No. Okay. Time.
Ma'am, I'm really sorry. I'm taking up time. I'm really sorry. But ma'am, since I've got a chance to directly ask you something, ma'am, can we have, like in our university, can we have open stages where we can go up and talk? Because many of us have the fear of coming up on stage or talking outside, because many of us have really good thoughts, really good ideas. I can literally hear people whispering around me, but they're not able to come and talk. So I think we should have more dais where we can just speak up, where we can put our ideas onto, like we can share our ideas with you. So
Yeah,
can
I
we
agree.
have?
What's your name?
My name is
Diksha.
Diksha, ma'am.
Diksha. So Diksha, I think we have a lot of clubs here,
Yes.
which provide you such kind of platforms. I don't know if you are aware about them or not. You are.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think these clubs are those informal learning environment, and you're sharing ideas kind of platforms wherein you can do all that stuff.
Ma'am, can I be honest with you?
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, I'm being real honest with you. I'm not hiding anything. But I've been to some clubs, ma'am. I've given my auditions, but people like judge us because they literally, ma'am, they literally judge us like you're from Department of Management. People don't come here that often, and I often ask them that, what's wrong? What's wrong if we are from Department of Management? It doesn't matter. We all belong to the same university.
Do you want to answer that, sir? Or maybe Tara? So, I mean, it's a genuine concern if she is telling that. If she's being judged, or for that matter, people are being judged, then, yeah, Anurag.
Is there?
I'm really sorry for the experience, but let me give you a very short and also a long answer later. So, you do know that this university, 80% of its people or personal students come from one single school, School of Engineering. And that's where most of the clubs are filled with or concentrated upon. And it is very easy for those students with young minds to close off rather than to open up. And historically, our School of Management students were very much focused, because we only had MBA before, they were completely focused on their curriculum and other projects. They didn't have enough time to engage in any extracurricular activities. But this time, after from past 4.5, 5 years, the faculty has made enough effort to make sure that they have time for this. So that's where students like, really motivated students like you have started coming up. But I would like to tell you, I have seen few exceptional students from BBA and MBA doing some wonders with Kriya, TEDx, Click Cadets. I think Click Cadets also has some exceptional photographers. So it is very, again, we are all very closed off. We are learned to be very closed off. No, it takes a little time, and I think your concern will be acted upon very seriously, and we'll definitely ask each of the club students, presidents, and their managers who are the faculty to.
Yeah, just
Thank
to,
you. Diksha.
since I didn't want to take the limelight because today is fire chat with the Vice Chancellor, but since the Vice Chancellor herself, she's my boss, she ordered that I answer, so that I may as well answer. Here is a watch brand called QE, the Japanese one. This was started by a young person who went to London, couldn't afford the British watches. He said, one day I'm going to make this kind of watch. When he went back to Tokyo, in Kyoto, he joined a watchmaking company, learned watchmaking, started the company. You're from the business school. If they don't allow, start a club.
Yes, that's what I was coming
Start half a
to.
dozen clubs.
That's what.
Of course you
It's
can.
okay.
See, remember one thing. It's easier in Anurag University to seek forgiveness and ask for permission. In my earlier organization, we wanted to do something, we would do. Something goes wrong, say sorry. As long as you don't do anything illegal or immoral or fattening.
That's what my answer would also has been the same, would be the same. And thanks to Balaji sir, he said the same. If you can't find an opportunity, create an opportunity.
Yeah.
Why not?
I
Good
think-
afternoon, ma'am.
Last one, sir. Is there
Tara is asking time.
yeah, this is the last question,
Yeah.
and we'll
So I'm
close.
Narendra from School of Management, and thank you very much for giving School of Management an opportunity to be part of Joy of Engineering course. We are taking this innovation and entrepreneurship. So I would like to ask a question. So one of the biggest fears I see in the students when I conduct this session is fear of failure and doing everything right, the perfectionist mentality, as you rightly pointed out. Based on that freedom, I'm taking the freedom because it's a fireside chat, I can be a little semi-informal. Can you share us any of your failures? And what have you taken out of them?
Yeah, Yes, and my life is full of failures. But every next step that I have taken, it's because I can attribute 95% of it for my own sheer hard work, 5% of it to the support system that I have. But I will also attribute it to the failures that I have had and experienced in the previous step, whenever. So my way of working is that whenever I have to take anything next up, first thing I see is how I can do it differently. And thinking of how can I do it differently will come inherently with some risks. The second thing is I strategize. Because it's going to be done differently, there will be no pretext or precursors for that. There will be no studies available for that. So I have to strategize in a very different manner, knowing very well and calculating very well what are the risks, what are the advantages. But once I have done it, I plunge into it. I take a leap of faith. And if I fail, there are 50% chance only to fail, no? So I'll fail, it's fine. So there had been countless events, countless incidences where I have failed. So I'll give you, since you've asked for an example, I was working in this fiber optic communication company in the very early stages of my career. And there we had to develop India's first optical line terminal equipment. That time the technology was being imported from Japan, Fujitsu company. And we were asked to make this optical line terminal equipment for military. Now imagine the kind of pressures that we have had. So, and we were asked totally to copy the design from Fujitsu and replicate it. Now there were no components available which the Japanese companies were using. So we experimented with different kinds of components. We sourced them and so on and so forth. So there was big risks involved. But when we strategized, when we designed, we modeled and everything, but as the luck would have it, the 50% of it, between the risk and between the failure and success, it failed. It failed. Oh. It didn't work. And it didn't work. And we have to bear the brunt of our bosses. There were very high stakes, but of course but then it was okay. And then second thing that we tried, it worked. It went successfully through the field trials and everything, but don't be afraid of failures. And we learned so much from those failures as an engineer, than from the success which eventually came. So, do things differently. Only leaders do things differently. Second, strategize. Weigh your pros and cons. Very well assess your risks. But once you have done it, plunge into it. Be confident. There are 50% chances of failure, sometimes less. But failures will only teach you. And by the way, student life is the best time when you can encounter failures with minimum repercussions. So use this opportunity of your student life. Why we want to have startup kind of an ecosystem here? Because if you fail here, you still have plan B, right? So you can still take that leap of faith. So don't be afraid of failures. Learn from your failures. And remember not to repeat the same mistakes again.
Thank you, Ma'am. We conclude this with a small token of thanks. Can you please give the sapling? And that one also, please. Thanks a lot for your time, ma'am. It was wonderful interacting with you. Thank you. One more, this is from MBA students. On the occasion of Teachers' Day, they wanted me to present this to you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.